Saxon Algebra 1, Lesson 85. This is another sort of offbeat lesson on a couple statistics topics. They involve graphing. They look really difficult and confusing at first, but they're super straightforward, and I think you'll find them a blessed relief from some of the craziness that we've been doing. So let's just dive in. John does a giant, multiple pages of explanation. I think it's easy. I don't think we need to do all that. All right, Mark went to the driving range to test out the new golf club his brother Frank bought him for Christmas. Well, that's a happy story, isn't it? Okay, dude's at the driving range. He hit 20 balls in a row. Okay, I'm just going to write that down. I don't know if I'm going to need that, but I'm going to write that down. 20 balls in a row. And the distances the balls traveled were measured in yards as follows. And then, here, I'll show you. There's a whole bunch of numbers. Oh, he hit it a lot of times. Just as a point of curiosity, let's see. The smallest number I see looks like it's 141. And what's the highest number you see? I see 180s. I don't think I see anything in the 190s. 182. Okay, but there's all of the numbers. So the first thing John says is the next thing, he already said some things. Create a stem and leaf plot of the distances listed by using the first two digits of each number listed as the stem and the last digit as the leaf. Find in which 10-yard stem the most golf balls landed. Okay, that sounds really hard, but once I show you, you're going to be like, oh, that's easy. The first thing we want to do is put the numbers in some sort of order. Now, here's the thing. John allows a little more freedom in this than I would. We'll do it John's way, and then I'll tell you how I would make it a little bit more precise. John says, use the first two digits of each number listed as the stem. Okay, let me show you what he means by that. So there were some that were 140. There were some in the 150s, 160s, 170s, and 180s, right? So what I'm doing is I'm listing the 110s place number for each of those. And then when we go through and look at the detail, I see, well, let's see, one score was 148, one was 147, one was 141. So what I'm doing is I'm listing the ones place digits down here. In the 150s, the only distance he hit there was 150 exactly. In the 16s, he hit 165, 162, 167, 168, 169. In the 170s, he did a bunch of them. Ready? 160, 176, 173, 175, 174, 170, 172, 173. And in the 180s, he did 181, 182, 184, and then 180 even. So what John is calling a stem in this example is just the 100s place and the 10s place. And then down here, what he's calling the leaves, that's the ones place. Okay, so what it is it's a neater, faster, easier way to straighten up the numbers, organize them without having to write them out over and over, all the numbers in greater detail, right? This was faster than if we would have written all three digits for each number. Now, John insists that it's not important to put the numbers in order within each stem. He does not organize the leaves sequentially. I say you should. So I'm writing here, I prefer sequential order. Okay? I think it's easier, honestly, than this mess that he creates. Okay? Now, what's cool about this is that it's very easy to take this information and turn it into a graph. Because what we can do is create, and it's called a histogram. Okay, so this is called a stem and leaf plot. Clever, right? And this is what's called a histogram. Two, 4, 6, 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a marker for each one of our leaves, right? So this is in the 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. We don't just put the blank down here, we write the whole number. Now what I do is I create a bar that shows how many hits, I was going to say, but literally hits because it's a driving range. How many scores occurred within the 140? So here we have 3. So I make a mark up to here, right? Because there were 3 different scores in the 140s. And if I want to really get fancy, I can write 8, 7, 1. Now the scores are in here. What? We only had 1 score in the 150s, and that was a 0. In the 160s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need to go up to this line, right? This graph helps us, this is telling us the number of items, right? And 5, 2, 7, 8, 9. Notice that because of the way I've organized this, I should be able to fit 1 number in every line. If I did it correctly, then I'm good. 2, 4, 6, 7 in the 170. So here's my 6. So I go up 1 more because I only did every other. I went really fast. You're probably cursing me right now. 6, 3, 5, 4, 0, 2, 3. And then 18, we have 4. So that goes to this line. I'm just referring over here. 1, 2, 4, 0. Now this makes it super. This is called also a histogram. It's also called a frequency distribution, which is a fancy name for saying it shows how many times something happened, right? This makes it really easy for us to say, oh, well, he hit the most of his balls in the distance between 170 and 179. There they all are, right? Yeah. And look at, if you look between 160 and 170, he really got most of his shots at that length. So that gives us information as statisticians about how to do that. All right, so that's the long and short of stem and leaf plots and histograms. Let's just look. There's a few more details that we can cover in this. Second, my battery is low.